The Law of One, Book 3, Part 10. Questioner. I would like then to trace the evolution of catalyst upon the mind-body-spirit complexes and how it comes into use and is fully used to create this tuning. I assume that the sub-logos that formed our tiny part of the creation, using the intelligence of the logos of which it is part, provides the base catalyst that will act upon mind-body complexes and mind-body-spirit complexes before they have reached a state of development where they can begin to program their own catalyst. Is this correct? Ra.
I am Ra. This is partially correct. The sublogos offers the catalyst at the lower levels of energy, the first triad. These have to do with the survival of the physical complex. The higher centers gain catalyst from the biases of the mind-body-spirit complex itself in response to all random and directed experiences. Thus, the less developed entity will perceive the catalyst about it in terms of survival of the physical complex with the distortions which are preferred. The more conscious entity, being conscious of the catalytic process, will begin to transform the catalyst offered by the sublogos into catalyst which may act upon the higher energy nexi. Thus, the sublogos can offer only a basic skeleton, shall we say, of catalyst. The muscles and flesh having to do with the, shall we say, survival of wisdom, love, compassion, and service are brought about by the action of the mind-body-spirit complex on basic catalyst so as to create a more complex catalyst which may in turn be used to form distortions within these higher energy centers. The more advanced the entity, the more tenuous the connection between the sublogos and the perceived catalyst until finally all catalyst is chosen, generated, and manufactured by the self for the self.
Questioner. Which entities incarnate at this time on this planet would be in that category of manufacturing all of their catalyst? Ra.
I am Ra. We find your query indeterminate, but can respond that the number of those which have mastered our catalyst completely is quite small. Most of those harvestable at this time-space nexus have partial control over the outer illusions and are using the outer catalyst to work upon some bias which is not yet in balance.
Questioner. In the case of service to self-polarization, what type of catalyst would entities following this path program when they reach the level of programming their own catalyst? Ra.
I am Ra. The negatively oriented entity will program for maximal separation from and control over all those things and conscious entities which it perceives as being other than self.
Questioner. A positively oriented entity may select a certain narrow path of thinking and activities during an incarnation and program conditions that would create physical pain if this were not followed. Is this correct? Ra.
I am Ra. This is correct.
Questioner. Would a negatively oriented entity do anything like this? Could you give me an example?
Ra. I am Ra. A negatively oriented individual mind-body-spirit complex will ordinarily program for wealth, ease of existence, and the utmost opportunity for power. Thus, many negative entities burst with the physical complex distortion you call health. However, a negatively oriented entity may choose a painful condition in order to improve the distortion toward the so-called negative emotion mentations, such as anger, hatred, and frustration. Such an entity may use an entire incarnative experience, honing a blunt edge of hatred or anger so that it may polarize more towards the negative or separated pole.